guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. I got two new items for my Volkswagen bus camper. I want to share them with you. And I've been waiting on these for quite a while we've had terrible weather up here in the mountains. And I'll show you why I won't be demonstrating these today, although one of them should be fairly obvious. But this one here, my little Volkswagen bus camper, came equipped with this from the factory, but this one was missing. And so I reached out to the folks at Vavor and was able to get one. And I apparently opened this box up incorrectly, but we'll get it all out of here. I'll show you what we got. What we got is a cassette toilet, like so. And this I measured on their website. They had the measurements, and I went out and measured in the Volkswagen to see exactly how that would fit, like if it's the right size, if it is original size, and it is. And so here in a little bit, I'll take you outside and show you that. But what we have here is portable toilet model pump 10L air pump. Interesting. And it's got pictures on it. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it does say not to use it on uneven ground. And it even has a parts list, so if you need a new seal or something like that. So the way these work, if you've never used one of these things, it also comes with a nice like carrying bag here. You could stuff this thing in for storage, although I don't think I'll probably ever need that. But let me get it up here. I'll get a little closer, and I'll show you what we got here. So the way this works is you have your seat like you normally would, and it even has all the instructions in color, which is kind of cool. So we have a lid. Lift that up if you need to pee. And over here, this is, you unscrew this thing, and it's a pump, like a pump. So when you pump it, there's actually a little squirter right here, and it's going to swish the water around, squirt it around. So if you're going to use the bathroom, first thing I would do is I actually break the seal. I had these before. I open the seal up a little bit, and then I close it just to equalize pressure, because I'm up in the mountains. If I were to go off the mountains, you're causing a pressure differential. When you open it, it can actually cause air to rise, and, well, that could be messy. So I'll break it open a little bit, then I close it, pump it up a few times to get some water level in there. Use the bathroom for number one or number two, and then you simply open that up to let it flush. If you need to do a little cleaning, pump it back up to get some more water in there, swish it around, open it back up, drain it out, and that's it, you're done. Now you can just put regular water. Water goes in here. And this whole top section, if I turn it sideways here, this whole top section is where our clean water, our gray water is going to be, or not our gray water, our white water, right? And so you fill that up. Now, depends, like, it's been a few years since I've used one of these things, but we also put in like RV deodorant, or what, I think it was deodorant or deodorizer, but it was just a little bit of a fresh smell to it. The problem is, kind of smelled a lot to me like an outhouse, like a portable outhouse. And I don't like that chemically smell. So the thing when it's sealed up, when this is pushed and sealed, really you don't smell anything. So we decided towards the end there, we didn't use the deodorizer anymore. All right, so with the lever closed, when it's time to go dump this thing, you've got these latches on the sides. And when you undo the latches, this lifts off. And you can see this part you could take apart. You could clean it really well when you got home from your trip. Before putting it into storage, you definitely want to drain that off. And you can see this is closed, right? There's nothing getting out of there. I could open it up and that exposes it, but as long as that lever is closed when we take these two halves apart, this is waterproof. And now what we have is a little carrying bucket. Right here is how we drain it into the black water tank. Dump that out. For us, when we use this, and we used to use these quite a bit back in the day, you had to take a garden hose or a hose, clean it, close it off, swish it around. You could clean these things out to where they were pretty much as good as brand new, and that's pretty much what I would recommend you do. Now, Vavor makes a couple of different sizes of these. They make one with a much larger holding tank, and that raises the platform up. To be honest with you, I would have preferred to have that, but our little Volkswagen camper, that will not work with it. It doesn't fit in the spot that's designed for an RV. But I mean, it sits, you know, about that far off the ground. I can sit in, and I'm old, and it hurts to get down that low, but I could sit in if I had to. It's not so bad. And of course, you know, I can still get up. I'm not that old. I am old, but I'm not that old. So yeah, it's still usable. My wife is the one, you know, us guys have the pleasure of being able to run out into the yard and water the trees, but the girls is not so easy. So this was something she wanted for our camper, and so I picked that up. And so I'll show you here in a second why we're not doing this in the Volkswagen bus, but let me set this aside and let me show you the other one, because this one is also really cool. This is something brand new from Vavor. And I reached out to them and asked, hey, this is exactly what we need for our camper. They have a couple different sizes available, but I specifically asked for this one because the little Volkswagen bus, it's not very large. Roof rack water tank. This, we were thinking about making something like this, but this, hard aluminum. It's got on the bottom and on the sides here railing to attach it where you need to attach it. This is the 5-gallon unit. So the little bus camper that I have, it has a 4-gallon tank built in. It lives inside the cabin. Takes up a good amount of space too, unfortunately. So this thing lives up on the roof. And it lives up on the roof, and if it's a nice sunny day, the black is absorbing the heat and it warms that up, and you can actually take a hot shower. This is what really matters, so let me get closer in. All right, so what you end up with is something, we're gonna be mounting this on a bus. I'm gonna take you outside in a second and show you where on the Volkswagen bus this will go. But if I wanted to, so like we camp a lot in our Toyota Sienna too. I could stuff this thing on the roof rack of the Sienna the long ways, cars going this way. But in the Volkswagen bus, there's just enough room for this thing in the luggage rack up above to sit this way. And the way this works, fill your water up here. This little hole right here, that's where we put our tire pressure gauge in, and we actually inflate this thing so it is pressurized. That means that you're not, when you turn on your faucet, when you press the garden hose, turn it on, if you need to take a shower, wash dishes, whatever it is you're gonna do, clean off your mud off your boots, whatever, right? If you're gonna do that, instead of just having gravity, which may be a pretty slow trickle, this thing is gonna be squirting like a pressurized hose would, and that's because of the air that's pushed into this thing. This thing being aluminum and welded really nicely, that's probably not going to be an issue. Like I said, here on the bottom, all the different places to have our mounts, as well as on one side here, right? So on the ends here, this side is where our connector goes for our garden hose or our hose connection. Either way, we have 2 outlets, one on this side and one on this side. And so you can choose which side you want the water to come out of, but the fill side is always going to be over here. So if I was going to be able to fill it easier, we'll just mount it this way. Unscrew this cap, fill it up with water. And what they've done here is, let's say we pressurize this, and I'll look in the manual here in a second and let you know, but if I was going to pressurize this to say whatever it is, 6 psi 5, whatever it is it's going to tell me, before I take the air out, or before I unscrew this to add water, it's got this blow-off valve like an air compressor would have. Pull up on that, it's going to equalize, then I can unscrew this and put my water in there. 5 gallons seems like an insignificant amount, but honestly, 5 gallons is quite a bit of water when you're hauling it. Like, think about 5 1-gallon jugs and trying to store that in your camper, and then think about having something like this in its place. All right, well, let me get the camera off the tripod. I'll show you this stuff up close, and then I will show you why we aren't installing it today. Awesome. Well, here it is, the tank here, and you can see that nice pressure fitting there. Got the cap with our blow-off valve. It's kind of a brushed, looks like a flat aluminum, nice dark color. Got some safety instructions here. 17 liter is the capacity on this one. I thought I got the 20, but I guess I got the 17. Then on the toilet here, I mean, it's self-explanatory, but it does come with this, which is really nice. In English, which is nice. Right, and so the lever here, you pull out to get your fluid out. And then this is the squirter here. So when you pump up and down on that, the water squirts in and kind of squishes around. It's at an angle. And that's our fill valve over there. Cool. Yeah, that's nice, and it's nice and small. And of course, here's all the accessories for the water tank as well. And with all this stuff, I mean, this is pretty cool. With all this stuff, our little 1972 Volkswagen camper is really going to have some pretty modern amenities. It's pretty nice to think of the upgrades that you can do to these things. All right, let me take you outside and show you what's going on. Well, this is why this is why we're not able to really do any filming and work on the bus today. It is a crappy day in the winter here. About 7 degrees right now. And oh, it's beautiful over there though, across the mountain. Whew, but that's all. So the bus is here and like we're working on it still, slow but steady. So the rack is back here. We're gonna mount that thing right there, and I can't exactly do that right now. Hold it up as high as I can, you can see. And then I don't even know if the door will open, but I'll try to get it open here. No, it's frozen stuck. Yeah, it's been really ugly weather here. But that's where it's all gonna go into. If you're familiar with buses, and I guess I'll slide a picture in here, there's a seat right here, and you put the toilet in that, and that's kind of its cubby hole. That's where it gets stored. Cool. All right, well, I don't want to be out here, so I'm going to disappear. But I will say this. I will leave a link to where you can get both those items, and I will see you next time. Take care.